Welcome to Daytona Beach for round number 1 and round number 2 of the AMA Pro Flat Track Racing Series.
Well, it's the same surface as what we've used over at Municipal Stadium, so it's just it changes a lot. So you just got to stay on top of it, and you know, you got to get your bike set up right. That's key, and it's fun. You know, you put your feet up on the pegs and go sideways through the whole turns, and it's going to be an exciting race. I know that because it's small, and we're going to be banging bars and going for it.
New Daytona Flat Track. Joe Kopp up the inside, rider number 3 with a great start. Johnny Lewis, number 10, and here comes Henry Wiles. Now Sammy Halbert up the inside. On board, Chris Carr, rider number 4, who started on the outside. He's got a great look at our leaders down the back straightaway. Henry Wiles right in front of him.
You can see that bullseye on Henry's number 1.
That's right. Henry said he does have a bullseye. Everybody gunning for the number 1 Monster Energy Kawasaki. Wow, Chris Carr going way off the track on the front straightaway. Ran out of room at this Daytona Flat Track.
Yeah, I think you got a little bit of help from Jared Mees on that one.
Yeah, got pushed a little bit outside. Smoking Joe Kopp, your early leader. Kenny Coolbeth in second. Here comes Slamming Sammy Halbert, rider number 7, working the bottom. Joe Kopp and Kenny Coolbeth running a little bit higher. Why is there so many different lines here, Ronnie?
Well, those guys are up there chasing that cushion. We call it a cushion where all the dirt gets thrown up there, and they're usually more traction up there, but Sammy's got that motorcycle you can see working right around the bottom, and he looks like he's going to the front.
And he slid from the bottom all the way up in front of Kenny Coolbeth. Kind of took his line away from him a little bit, but looked pretty good. Cool. Now Chris Carr's back in traffic. There's Johnny Lewis right beside him, rider number 10. Carr starting to slide back just a little bit as Johnny Lewis makes a move towards the front.
Yeah, you can see Johnny drop down low in the corners where he was riding that dash for cash, but you can see that line's not working as well as it did in the dash.
Smoking Joe Kopp way up front. Wow, Henry Wiles got a little bit sideways coming up for turn number 2. These riders have a steel shoe on their left boot. What's that for, Ronnie?
Well, that makes their foot slide along on this dirt. You know, a rubber-soled boot would catch every time they put their foot out there. It'd catch and sling around and kick them in the back of the head. So that steel shoe makes it slide along the dirt and makes it not get hot as well.
And absolutely no front brakes are allowed here in Flat Track. Out front, it's Joe Kopp running way high, wide, and handsome. Rider number 3. He's the 2000 AMA Grand National Champion. Right behind him is Sammy Halbert, rider number 7. The reason he is a single digit is last year there was a singles champion and a twins champion. And if they would have combined those, they would have been an overall champion. AMA felt like they owed Sammy Halbert a championship, so they didn't owe him the championship, but they gave him the national number, so he'll be running a single-digit number, and that is Sammy Halbert, number 7. Joe Kopp is your leader, and Sammy Halbert's starting to track him down just a little bit.
Yeah, see, that cushion's getting pushed further and further up, so Joe Kopp has to go a little higher as the race wears on, and that kind of helps Sammy out there. He's got a line right on the groove, and that line's going to stay the same the entire main event.
Sammy Halbert's got that inside line working really good. Back on board to Chris Carr. He's sitting back in about 6th or 7th spot. We'll be right back with the rest of our main event. Welcome back to Daytona, picking up where we left off. Smoking Joe Kopp out front. Sammy Halbert on the number 7, trying to close the gap and take over 2 extremely different lines. Joe Kopp running way high and wide. Sammy Halbert up the inside, Ronnie.
Yeah, and you see Joe Kopp trying to move down there and block his line, you know, and that might hurt Joe because he's been running up high. He doesn't really know what that inside line is like, and there goes Sammy down the inside.
Both of these 2 riders are from the state of Washington, so they've raced each other for a lot of years. And now Sammy Halbert, the younger rider, taking over. Joe Kopp, the veteran on the series, and it took Joe Kopp 16 years to win down here in Daytona. He took the win here last year. He's looking for another win tonight, but now Sammy Halbert is out front, reached up and pulling off a tariff off his goggles so he can see better, and he's already stretching out the lead.
Yeah, he's got that inside line working, and Joe, you know, he may try to drop down. He tried to drop down on the inside line to block him, and it didn't work for him, so you see he's still searching.
I would imagine that Joe Kopp probably has his bike set up for the high line. That's what he was looking at earlier. Obviously, he ran the first few laps, but then he saw Sammy Halbert go by on the inside, so he's trying the inside, trying to make something work to try to catch up. And taking a look a little bit further back, there's Kenny Coolbeth sitting in 3rd spot. That's Johnny Lewis, number 10. And here comes Henry Wiles on the Monster Energy Kawasaki on the outside. That's the front straightaway starting to get a little bit rough on the outside.
Yeah, you can see there's a big chunk of dug out of the back straightaway there, and they're going through it, and the bikes are hopping off the ground.
A great look from Kenny Coolbeth. There goes Jake Johnson, number 5, who started way back in the 11th spot. Jake Johnson working his way towards the front on his Honda. Jake Johnson, already a 4-time winner here at the short track, looking for number 5, and he's got a brand new national number on his bike too. National number 5 is Jake Johnson. You can see him is just going by Chris Carr. Back up to the front, there is Joe Kopp, who's currently in the 2nd spot. Henry Wiles, he stepped up and he's running the high line too. He told me earlier in the day that he likes the track when it's nice and rough, so maybe he's using those holes to his advantage.
Well, he seems to be moving forward, and these guys are having a heck of a battle, and they chase themselves right up behind Joe Kopp, who's in 2nd there, and he's in danger of these guys just all running right behind him.
Johnny Lewis, who's diving in the corners a lot harder than anybody else, but he's running so far up the inside. Johnny Lewis, rider number 10. Here he comes up the inside. Joe Kopp, number 3. And Henry Wiles, number 1, the outside. Wow, we had a sandwich there on the front straightaway.
Yeah, these guys are getting after it. And, you know, you see they're all running different lines here. And one of them's trying to figure out which one the other one's using to get by. And it's changing every lap.
You can see some of these riders are hitting that bump coming off of turn number 2. Also, there's one bump starting to form down the middle of the back straightaway. It's a little bit off the racing groove. Now, Jake Johnson making a move up the inside on Kenny Coolbeth Jr. Keeping our eyes on the number 5. He's got a lot of company, a lot of fast guys in front of him. He's trying to get to the front. Our leader is definitely checked out, so we're watching this battle back here for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Yeah, Henry Wiles on the Monster Energy Kawasaki. He's using that high line all the way around. You see Johnny Lewis going in low, but not able to get out of the corner with Henry.
He's going in low and drifting up high, so he's losing a lot of speed at that point. Joe Kopp still sitting back there. Here comes Jake Johnson, number 5, and he's made the move now on Kenny Coolbeth Jr. Sets his sights on Joe Kopp.
Yeah, it's typical Daytona short track action. Guys all over the racetrack and just really getting with it.
18 of the best riders in the world, 25 laps, man. It's awesome racing here at the Daytona Flat Track. Henry Wiles still in that 2nd spot. Johnny Lewis on the number 10 and 3rd. Joe Kopp, now Jake Johnson working on the 2000 Grand National Champion. That's Joe Kopp on the number 3. And Kenny Coolbeth sitting right there just in case anything happens. He'll stick his wheel up in there. He's not scared to do that.
Yeah, I think Sammy's glad, you know, he's got a little bit of gap on these guys because you can see how a little nerve-wracking that'd be in that group there. They're going all over the racetrack and pretty impressive, you know, how talented these guys are and be able to run that close, different lines, crossing high and low, and nobody going down.
Ryan Jones, when you won back in 1991, what happened to you? Did you get out front and just check out, or would you have to come through the pack?
No, actually, Chris Carr got off and got way out in front, and he was running a high line, and I was running a low line, and my line just came in the main event, and I was able to track him down.
All right, Jersey Jake Johnson just made the move right there on Johnny Lewis. Johnny Lewis is running that inside line now. Jake Johnson's got that thing figured out too. And here he comes up the inside, number 5. But now Johnny Lewis repays the favor. Number 10 taking that spot back away from Jake Johnson.
Yeah, it looks like too, maybe Joe Kopp's recommitted to that high line. You know, they came up on him, looked like they were just going to blow by him and go away from him. He's got found him something that's working pretty good for him there, and he might be able to hold on to that 3rd place position.
He's going the long way around this short track, so he's trying to make it happen. That's rider number 3, Joe Kopp. Jake Johnson now working that inside, has got around Lewis and sets his sights on Joe Kopp. They're side by side, 5 laps remaining here in the inaugural event at the Daytona Flat Track.
Yeah, what a great facility. You know, you can see all the people all the way around this place. Jim France and his crew there, and Mike Kidd, Steve Moorhead, the whole group of those guys just done a great job and great racing here in the first race in Daytona Short Track.
Standing room only. They're actually standing on the top up there on outside of turns 1 and 2 on the flat track. Jake Johnson took a look over his shoulder and he saw Joe Kopp is right there, so I don't know if that's a good move or not.
I was told to never look back, that there's always somebody back there, so I don't know what he was looking back for.
Yeah, I'm sure you could hear him back there. He maybe wanted to change his line. I'm not sure what Jake Johnson was thinking, but he's trying to track down. Henry Wiles is in 2nd. Way out front, it is Sammy Halbert, and there's our first look at Jethro Halbert on the 69, also coming through the pack.
Yeah, Sammy's brother.
Back out front, there's your leader, number 7. That is Sammy Halbert, looking really smooth. He's starting to get in a little bit of lap traffic right now. It looks like Brandon Bergen, number 26, is right there. He's going to take a look at him, and there is 2 laps to go. Sammy Halbert just 2 laps left for his 3rd Grand National win. He's just moments away, man. He's got to be going. What's going through your head right now at that time, Ronnie?
Well, he's so far out in front, he's just thinking, boy, this old Daytona short track can be awful slippery, and you just never know. And he's just hoping that the motor doesn't break or something doesn't happen to keep him from getting his first Daytona short track win.
Sammy Halbert trying to keep it smooth. There is the white flag one more time around the Daytona Flat Track for the rider number 7, the Yamaha out of Graham, Washington. Takes a look over his shoulder.
Yeah, there he goes.
Fist pump in the air down the back straightaway. He knows how far of a lead he's got over Henry Wiles, last year's champion. It's got to feel real good to come out here, beat last year's champion, and take home the win at the brand new Daytona Flat Track here at Daytona International Speedway.
Yeah, you can tell how excited he is. That's really cool, you know, to get his first Daytona win. I know, you know, from winning it myself, that's a huge win to have in your career.
Sammy Halbert taking the win, and we'll be right back to hear what he has to say about the brand new facility on the flat track.
Man, I was nervous before the first heat, but that all went away when I found my speed, and feels great. Just got to thank my whole team, the WKR, Woody Kyle Racing, Fredericktown Yamaha, King's Customs, Glassman, AGV Helmets, Dainese Leathers, KK Motorcycle Supply, Graham CrossFit got me in shape for this, and couldn't feel better on top of the box here at Daytona.